So then we moved here from Texas, and that was that. Been here ever since.
You're a good talker.
Oh my god, am I talking too much?
No, not at all.
Well, besides waiting tables, that's what I do best. Kind of have to be good at it.
How many people do you really get to know? Customers, I mean.
Well, not as many as you think. I just find it amazing that you can care about someone so much that you didn't even know the day before. Like Eddie, the truck driver, who used to come in here all the time. He would drive for 18 straight hours and would only stop in for a cup of coffee and a slice of twice. But he got rotted, so he stopped coming in. Well, then there was Dorothy. Her real name was Barbara, but I had to call her that because she was so obsessed with the Wizard of Oz. Last I heard, she moved to Dodge City. But to be honest, some people just aren't that interesting. I mean, there could be 20 people in there, and I could still have no one to talk to. Well, not to speak badly of anyone, it makes you appreciate the ones who actually have something to say. It almost makes you forget about the 2 dozen other people that you wouldn't care to ever see again. Now, Helen was perfect, a true exception. She was from Venus. The first time she walked through the door, I almost dropped my tray. Partly due to the fact that it was my third day, but anyway, she had this fire red hair. It was like fire engine red, right? And this matching red lipstick. She was wearing this beaded sequin shirt, leopard print Venice pants, and 6-inch heels. And even in the heels, she was still 5'0". And if you can believe it, she was 67.
What?
Yeah. So of course she gets seated in my section, and just looking at her, I'm terrified. She was one of those train wrecks you know you're going to meet one day. Well, train wreck isn't the right word, but anyway. I go up to her, and before I can even say a word, she says, "Look at what this stupid, incompetent daycare dresser did to me." I was speechless at first, but then I just started laughing. She asked me what the cheapest thing on the menu was, and I told her the blue plate special was pretty reasonable. And you know what that is, right? Yeah, you do. So anyway, she ordered it, and she told me it was the best meal she ever had. And that was it. I had to know this woman. When my shift was over, she was still there, on her 6th cup of coffee, and we had terrible coffee.
It's not that bad.
You're a horrible liar. So she told me about her husband, Bill, and she described him as some lazy son of a bitch. If she was any more relaxed, she'd be dead. She told me about the night he proposed to her. He had taken her to Mexico as a surprise, which, as you can imagine, she had choice words for.
She didn't like Mexico?
Well, it wasn't that. She was just prefer something more of European. She was just a Paris, Venice kind of girl rather than a Cancun type, if you can believe it. So on the last minute of the trip, he pulls out all the stops. The fancy dress, the candlelit dinner, the band playing their song, even though she told me she didn't even know they had a song. Honestly, she never seemed like a romantic type, at least not for the stories she told, but she loved it. She adored every minute of it. She said she fell in love with him threefold after that night. Forget the cliche of all of it, she said. Cliches are often cliches because they're the perfect thing to do. And then comes the proposal. As the crescendo of the song circles around the table and gets on one knee, she starts to cry. He looks her right in the face, takes out the box, opens it, to which she responds after looking at the screen. What am I, graduating high school? I couldn't palm that for a toilet handle, for Christ's sake.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's Helen. But that's what made her so perfect. Somehow her complete lack of charm was a charm in itself.
What did her husband say?
Oh, he said, "That's all you deserve." And they smiled and they kissed and they got married 3 weeks later. Anyway, she came in every Thursday after salon for 3 months, and she ordered the exact same meal, the blue plate special.
And after those 3 months?
So one Thursday she didn't come in and never did again. So.
We're here?
Yeah. And you're a good listener.
Excellent.